Hi. Here we are in front of the mirror again for Mirror, Mirror 3. But in reality, we don't need a mirror for this week's game. I'm just going to use the mirror as a symbol, because the mirror that we're looking at this week is the mirror of the mind. When you practice this particular game, you might want to practice in sort of a meditative stance, sitting down, eyes closed. And you might want to practice it for about 10 minutes, 2 to 3 times a day. But let me demonstrate how we play this game, Mirror, Mirror 3, or we could call it the mirror of the mind, right? The mirror of the mind, if you want to give it a different name. So the way this game works, again, you'll be sitting down, you'll have your eyes closed. And what you do is you wait for an I thought to arise. Now, the I thought could be any kind of thought that says I, me, or mine, anything like that. So, for example, let's say the thought arises, I'm not seeing any thoughts. You see, that's an I thought. I'm not seeing any thoughts, right? Or maybe the thought arises, I'm bored. Or maybe the thought arises, I don't have time for this. I need to check email. Or maybe some other unrelated thought arises, like you start thinking about a conversation that you had yesterday and there's an I thought in that conversation. Or you start thinking about plans for the future and there's an I thought in those plans. It really doesn't matter what kind of I thought comes up. I'm going to work with the thought, I'm not seeing any thoughts. Because often when you close your eyes and you wait for an I thought, it goes quiet. I always say that thoughts are like cockroaches. I used to live in Florida when I was young, and we had cockroaches. When you walked in the kitchen and turned the light on, they all ran. You didn't really see them. So thoughts are like cockroaches. When you bring the light of your awareness to the mind, the thoughts can hide and they know you're looking, right? So if I'm sitting here waiting for an I thought and my thoughts are acting like cockroaches and they're hiding from me, the first I thought that sneaks in that I might see is, I'm not seeing any thoughts. Or there aren't any thoughts coming to me, or something like that, right? We often don't notice I thoughts as I thoughts because, well, kind of like I have this shawl wrapped around my body right now because it's a little chilly down here in the basement. We kind of wrap ourselves in the thoughts and we don't notice them as separate from us. So we don't notice the I thought as being a thought rather than we see it as just me. So sometimes we don't notice I thoughts. Like if you weren't playing the game, you might not notice the thought, I'm not seeing any thoughts, as an I thought, right? That's just me thinking, I'm not seeing any thoughts. So one part of this game is you have to start to really, again, look for the I, and it could be a me, it could be a mine, but the I and thought. So when you see an I thought, I'm not seeing any thoughts, you kind of, in this game, you kind of grab a hold of it. Now, this is in your imagination because your eyes are closed and, you can't really grab a hold of a thought. But you kind of grab a hold of that thought and you stop it right in front of you. And you look at it. And you repeat it. I'm not seeing any thoughts. I'm not seeing any thoughts. And as you are looking at it, what's happening is you're going to start to notice this thought is on the mirror of my mind. I'm not seeing any thoughts is here on the mirror of my mind, and I am here. And this is where it's very much like last week's game, right? I'm not seeing any thoughts. I'm not seeing any thoughts. I see the thought. I'm not seeing any thoughts. It's there. It's somehow in front of me. Now, in the mind, it may feel like it's that much in front of you. It's like, just a smidgen in front of me, whatever I am, but it's in front of me. I see the thought. I'm not seeing any thoughts. So you take a moment to notice the difference between the I that sees the thought and the mirror of the mind, the thought being at least a smidgen in front of you. Now that thought was claiming to be you, right? That thought was claiming to be me. But here's where we come into last week's exercise. Can I be there? Can I be in that thought? And what happens when we play this game is we start to see that thoughts are masquerading as me, and that I've been believing it, but that's a complete falsehood. So again, I'll demonstrate. I'm going to close my eyes and wait for an I thought. I heard a text message come in on my phone. Okay, I heard a text message come in on my phone. I heard a text message come in on my phone. I heard. I see this thought. I can see. I heard a text message come in on my phone. I see that. Where am I? I'm here. I heard a text message come in on the phone. It's in front of me. It's here. I see it here. If I am here, can I be there? Can that be me? Or is that just a thought? Am I in that thought? Am I aware of that thought? I heard a text message come in on my phone. What am I? Where am I? Am I in that thought? And you just look at it. You're just looking for, and this is what's really important about this game. You want the honest, felt sense that the thought is on the mirror of the mind and that you are here, that you're aware of the thought, but you are not the I in that thought. You can't be the I in that thought because you're here. And again, if you get that felt sense, you can take it one step further, just like we did last week. When you get that felt sense that you are not the I in that thought, you can then notice that the I thought is in you, right? You are the awareness. You are the spaciousness. And the I thought is an object in you. So you can notice that too. So you can take it that one step further if you want to. So again, I recommend doing it for at least 10 minutes with your eyes closed, at least twice a day, maybe 3 times a day if you can do it 3 times a day. And remember, this isn't intellectual. You're going to keep looking at it until you feel it, till you feel, I am not the I in that thought, right? That's the mirror. I'm here. And again, maybe a little smidgen, you may feel like it's just a hair in front of you, but you'll feel that it's in front of you. And when you feel that the I thought is there and I am here, then you'll know I cannot be in that thought. So the I thought is an imposter. That's mirror, mirror 3. All right. I'll see you next week. Bye.